test.
Okay, for those of you who aren't seated yet, if you want to take a seat, that's fine. If you want to stand in the back of the room, that's great too. I'm Tracy Timmons. In case I haven't met you, I'm the Executive Director of the Red Lodge Area Community Foundation, and we facilitate the fun run every year, which is why we're all gathered here today, is to reap in the rewards. And so we have a lot of good news and good stories to share with everyone tonight. I thought that I was going to get up here with a different story and a different opening less than 24 hours ago. And that's because we at the foundation, we had a board meeting yesterday to approve the Fun Run Awards for all the charities, the money that was generated. And it was approved, and then I had a staff meeting. And I told the staff, I said, well, you know, this year it's not looking like it's going to be the biggest year ever. We're off around $200. And I said, but that's okay because I can sell that. I'm sure that everybody will be okay with a $200 difference. And all of a sudden, in the midst of our staff meeting, which, you know, our staff is comprised of myself, Marty's here, she's full-time. We have Betty and Rue, who are working about 6 hours a week. And then we have 4 AmeriCorps Vistas, and that's our staff. And so one of our AmeriCorps Vistas, which is David Blair, and if you're familiar with the veterans groups, you might have met him. He says, well, you know, he goes, I have $1 challenge. I can do the tipping point with $1 if anybody else wants to join me in this. And I was like, no, you guys, really $200 is okay. And we kind of went on about our staff meeting. And the next time, another staff person says, well, you know, I've got this amount, and then I've got that amount. And pretty soon we had $226 would put us over the tipping point. So it was very, very rewarding to, even though I kept going, no. So thank you, staff, for doing that very much. I really appreciated it. So the tipping point total that we're going to award tonight is $195,235.33. And that is going to bring the fun run, a decade of giving, that was this year, 10 years, we're going to be at $1,424,274 in 10 years. So almost made that $1.5 million. So this morning I was a little emotionally charged about what the staff did, and I had to sleep on it this morning. I came in and I gathered them all together again, and I said, you know, you guys, I really need to know, to tell this story, why did you do what you did? I mean, because, you know, we're very much about the fun run's not competitive, it's collaborative, it's bringing everybody together. So what was it about where we were at that you guys, what was your story you wanted to tell? And the story they wanted to tell was about how they felt like it was consistent growth over 10 years, and they wanted to see that continue. They really wanted to illustrate in the community what Red Lodge has illustrated over and over again, which is one person can make a difference. And I think that we see that coming in the foundation doors all the time. People come in with a really good idea, or they come in with something, a gap that they perceive in the community, and they ask us to help them facilitate what they can do about that. And it's becoming something much more commonplace. Of course, the Nonprofit Shared Services Center, the building that we operate from, has really helped to solidify that. It makes it easier for people to get a hold of us and come in and out. And it builds synergies among the other nonprofits that are in the particular facility. One of them said that it was really important for them to have skin in the game. And I really love that because, as you guys know, if you're board members and you're on a board, you're asked to participate, to fundraise, to help work on some committee. Well, the staff really felt like that they should be like, just like we're asking board members or people in our community to support the event also. And they thought that it'd be really fun to be a big part of it in that way. So I like that. It's the fun part of the fun run, and we find it in a lot of different ways. And so they really wanted to help us to bring that theme home for 10 years of giving. So again, my hat's off to the staff who made this happen and made it really a little extra special tonight. One thing, and we're awarding the funds, we're going to keep it very short this year, but I wanted to let you know that we did grow the match fund this year, and just by a small amount, and small, a few $1,000s. And we did that in a couple of ways because we do have sponsors and match donors who drop off every year. And so you sometimes find yourself in a replacement mode, and so growth can be really a stretch. We did do that, and another reason we were able to do it is because we have controlled costs. And I want to thank everybody in this room and everybody who attends the planning sessions, because I think that's where a lot of the control of the costs come in. You know, I'll get on one of our planning committees, our marketing committees, and we get these really wild ideas and new ideas and things that we can do. And then I go back to planning committees and I say, will you vote on this idea? Let me know if you think we should invest our cash this way. And you guys are really good at saying no. And I appreciate that. You know, it takes that creative part with the dollars of getting every dollar we can into the charities. So this year, our costs went down for the third year in a row, even while we invested a large amount of money in creating that video to gain sponsors outside of the Red Lodge area, which we are working on. We ordered more shirts than ever, and we have purchased more burgers than ever. We had more participants. We had more television coverage with less money this year, and it's really because Color 8 really stepped up and helped to show us the way, and it was really a powerful partnership that we had with them. And all of this amidst the fact that we didn't really know where the event was going to take place. We played around whether it was going to be able to be at Lions Park, or because of construction that we were going to have to move it to Old Field School Park, and then we ended up back in Lions Park. So I'm just really happy to say that that's another reason of squeezing out more money to give to charities. Another thing that I want to point out about the fun run, and I was just at the M&A conference, which is Montana Nonprofit Association, and it was in Missoula, and most of our staff was able to go with me, and the AmeriCorps Vistas were there. And one of the things that really hit home, and I know we know this, but I don't know that sometimes we spend a lot of time thinking about it, and that is that 73% of our donors in the nonprofit world are individuals. And so we spend a lot of time writing grants and doing these things and that things, but it still comes home to exactly what happens with the fun run. Most of the money that's raised during the fun run comes from individuals in our community. And so you think $195,000, no matter what size and number that you think that is, I cannot tell you, and I don't have the totals right now, so I literally can't, but it is comprised of so many $25 donations that are giving $5 to this charity and $5 to that charity to add up to 5 charities and $25, which adds up to $195,000. And so it's really thanking the people in this community and the people that come up here from Billings that are really committed to this event, and the whole thing is supporting the 54 charities and 5 funds this year. The other thing that I think that's really helping us to grow our event is that now we have local groups who are not participating in the fun run as a participating charity to receive funds, but within our community they are actually fundraising and then giving those funds to the fun run. And so again, I would like to acknowledge Messiah Lutheran Church for their efforts and their concert that they did, that this year raised somewhere upwards of $1,600 for the match fund, which benefits all the charities. We had Cruisin' Red Lodge, who had their event, who was able to make donation to charities and match fund. And we had that Rumpus on Broadway during the road construction project. And so those charities that were benefiting from Rumpus on Broadway, that particular donation is included in the checks on the funds that you received tonight. And that was, the particular beneficiaries for that was Cross Country Ski Foundation, Chamber of Commerce, Beartooth Cupboards, Yellowstone Wildlife Sanctuary, and the Match Fund. And the final setting of the fun run this year is that we all gathered to the park. We celebrated Sally Martin's great idea. We'll talk a little bit about that later. But we'll also remember that the EMS and the fire department was fighting a fire, and yet they still showed up to our event and made sure that it happened. And that was really above and beyond how they can manage all those kinds of things and still take care of home in such a personal way. So my hat's off to the EMS and fire for still supporting and helping us do that. So right now I would like to recognize our Volunteer of the Year award for the fun run, specifically for the fun run. This volunteer is the same volunteer that we had last year for the fun run. She works alongside us and she knows how to put in 50 and 60 hours a week the last 2 weeks before the event, just like the rest of us in that office. And so this year she had a lot of things going on in her personal life while the fun run was going on, and so against all odds, she continued to help us to make sure we were ready for race day. And she said it was really good therapy too, so we really like that win-win situation. So I would like to bring up Pat Corby and also whoever's representing Beartooth Cupboards, if the two of you could come up here, please. This is for Pat and her volunteerism time with the foundation, and Pat has a check, and so she has an award for being Volunteer of the Year, and she gets to award those funds to her favorite charity, and she selected Beartooth Cupboards 2 years in a row. So Pat is a great friend to have. Thank you very much. Okay, next I would like to recognize in a group, if we could have the charities, these are the charity representatives who had the most volunteer hours, the winning booth, and closest to the total contest winner. That was something new that we ran this year. So if we could have the representative from Beartooth Recreational Trails Association, Red Lodge Lions Club, Celtic Fusion, Canine Assistance, and the Chamber of Commerce. And just a few words while these folks are coming up. The event that we had, that was the guessing how much money was going to be awarded this year. Patty at the Chamber of Commerce, she voted for $196,950, so she was very close. And I want to let you know that the guesses, this is very surprising, the guesses came in from 20,000 to 250,000, and we had 28 people participate, so that was a really good job, well done for her. So I would like to recognize that the winning booth this year was Canine Assistance, and the most volunteer hours for charities was the Beartooth Recreational Trails, Red Lodge Lions Club, and Celtic Fusion. So we're going to go ahead and award their checks and honor them in this. Thank you. Let them know what the chamber's going to do with that money.
Yes.
Okay.
We are going to donate this to Red Lodge Proud and Beautiful because they care about Red Lodge just as much as the chamber does.
Oh, there you go. Celtic. Okay, you can have a seat. Thanks so much.
Oh, I got to say.
Come here. Lori, did you want to say? Did you want to tell me what you were doing? I thought you were going to.
I don't need the microphone.
Okay.
But the Red Lodge Area Chamber of Commerce is going to donate this money to Red Lodge Proud and Beautiful because, as I said, they care about Red Lodge just as much as the chamber does. And God knows those baskets on Red Lodge Main Street are the most gorgeous in the world. When the people were here on the bicycle event, they actually said they went over and felt the flowers because they thought they could not be real.
Ah, very nice story. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to ask here. Is Hope Smith here? No. Okay, good. All right, so I'm going to point out this year we're doing things a little bit differently in how we're coming up. Mark Schubert, are you available to come up? And perfect. So this year, it's been a focus for the last several years that we don't want the awards banquet just to come about how much each individual charity gets and always having the focus be about the money. So this year, when we do the awards, we're going to do this differently. We're going to bring the organizations up together as a group, and we are going to, Mark's going to hand them out their checks, and as you receive your check, if you would like to come over here to the podium, and this is where we asked for you to have 20 seconds to tell us what you're going to spend the money on in 2014. So we're not going to do this by the amount that you've received, but we're going to do this in a grouping about organization type. And I'll just preface this with, there's multiple organizations that could be under multiple headings, and we just picked the best fit we could. So please forgive us if you don't agree with yours, and we can fix that for next year. Rue is helping us. She has these wonderful signs, and so we have 15 seconds and 5 seconds. So this is really going to help us practice our elevator speeches. You have about 30 seconds, maybe 20 seconds to grab someone's attention about why you're passionate about your organization, why you're engaged, and why you work so hard for them. And so this will help you to really firm that up on what you want to say when you meet the next person who's interested in what you love.